We are celebrating 50 years of hip hop. Happy birthday, hip hop. We got DJs in the house. We got the producer of the series in the house. We have so many people here to talk to you about how hip hop is in our DNA, how it's evolved, and where it's going. Number one, I do have to say you look really great tonight.
Well, thank you very much.
You are very welcome. It's an exciting time. We're celebrating 50 years is a long time.
Oh yeah, definitely. And I was at the birth of it, all of this hip hop. And so yes.
I can only imagine what you've seen.
Oh yeah, yeah. It's been a heck of a journey because I was there even before hip hop started. I was literally at the birth.
What have you seen that you're proud of with hip hop? What do you hope for hip hop?
Well, I've often been very critical of what's happening now, but then I recognize the music is not made for my generation. But it's not music now. The technology has turned it into beats, auto tunes. You have all this technology, and then it's taken away from the soul of music. I mean, who has a signature out there today? Who can you actually identify? All you're doing is identifying with these images of jewelry, success, and the money and the whole darn thing. But then, can you identify these artists? I mean, when you look at, I'll go back in the day, Motown. You had all those artists, the groups, Temptations, Four Tops, name them. Every group had its own sound. When you look at the female artists, every artist had their own sound. So when young people come to me and ask for advice, I say, go get a voice coach and help them find your signature because there's no signatures today.
So what are your hopes for this generation and the evolution, the continued evolution of hip hop?
Well, I have no hopes. I mean, it is. I know. I can't look. It's the messages that are being given. See, you wind up in this business now because of social media. Before, if you sound good, then you get to a record label, and the first place you would go would be artist development division. Then they would work on you to create the sound. They would teach you how to do interviews and so on and so forth. You would have a voice coach, none of that exists today because you're doing it all and it's all about image because you're selling it to kids that are 7 to 13, 14 years old. What the hell do they know? They just have the money to spend and they want to be like what they see.
Well, I think I heard my answer. What you hope for hip hop is that we get back to developing artists. Would you say that's what it is?
It would be great if that would happen, but the only way that would happen if whoever started again knew what it was. Nobody that's in position now knows what it was.
What do you love most about hip hop?
I love my history in hip hop.
You have highlight you want to share?
Oh God, well, there's so many. I've been in did cameos in a bunch of videos and what have you. George's Music Room in Chicago is what I've been known for, and I organized black stores in the '90s, and we really became that strong arm for the black artists because that's who credit has never been given to. Because if it wasn't for black stores, hip hop, where would it have gone? And see, this is the one thing that I've been gotten on a few of these artists and they're doing these productions, but the one thing they're leaving out is the only place you could buy this music was at your black mom and pop record stores before the big chains bought it.
Well, thank you to your contributions to hip hop.
Well,
And let's celebrate.
Hey.
It means a lot. It means a lot. It's part of the culture. It's part of how we came up from one genre of music to present. Up until that point, it was it's hip hop. Hip hop, you don't stop. I mean, you can't get no better than that. My man Busy B said.
So give me some of your top hip hop influencers.
My top hip hop influences. Okay. So we go. Big Daddy Kane, KRS One, Rakim Allah, Large P, I can't forget my brothers, the Jungle, the brothers, the Jungle, uh, um, Tribe, uh, shit, Third Base, Eminem. I can keep going on. I mean, like, hey, listen, I love me some hip hop. But the artist I worked with was Cool Rock Steady, the cousin of Africa Bambaataa and Africa Islam, who introduced me to the Zulu Nation. Super shout out to the Zulu Nation. I've been doing house music for 40 years, been making records for 38 out of the 40. Hip hop was always a big part of me. When Fast Eddie made hip house or created the genre hip house, it kind of fell into me, or I kind of fell into it like a really good shoe. You know what I'm saying? So I walked it, talked it, did it, wrote it, produced it. You know, we just did a thing. So for me, it's just part of the culture, just part of the just part of the culture.
What inspired me on this journey, man? I grew up in Chicago around house music, man, good feel-good music, and I loved hip hop, right? And I realized that some of the records that I grew up with were from these hip house artists. And as we were celebrating the 50th year of hip hop, I'm like, well, wait a minute, what about this genre? And our partners over at Comcast was like, whoa, nobody talked about that. Nobody talked about Fast Eddie. Nobody talked about what MC Lyte and Queen Latifah did on Coming to My House and stuff like that. Yeah. So that's what this was about. The main takeaway I will tell you is that house music started in Chicago. It was started by some young Black males, right? Heterosexual males on the south side of Chicago, despite what people think that. However, the LGBTQ community embraced house music. They're the ones who took house music and continue to champion it today. But the real of the real is that it started by some heterosexual Black guys that were like, hey, this is what we want to do. And typically in our culture, we'll take lemons and make some sweet lemonade. Oh, hip hop is about freedom of expression, man. It's about telling your true story, helping others, and it's a feel good thing, and it's cultural. And I think that's why you can go to all these different places in the world and people learn English because of hip hop, learn cultural because of hip hop. It's a universal language. IG is DJ Kelly G. All my socials, DJ Kelly G. I'm a DJ first, executive second, and having fun.